sunwheelmagic.com, thunderwizard.com. So today I want to talk to you about medicine wheel teachings and its connection to modern science. And basically what I'm going to say to you here is that modern science is confirming medicine wheel teachings in regard to the migration of the first human beings onto planet Earth. So there are multiple teachings about the medicine wheel. There's some variations among them. I'm going to share what I've found to be the most consistent teachings out there. First, let me say, obviously I am not of Native American descent, nor am I here officially representing any Native American views. I am simply sharing my opinion and my observation on medicine wheel teachings that have been made public by people who claim to be authorized to speak on behalf of various Native American tribes. So again, this is just my opinion, my musings on that. So let's first talk about very briefly what the medicine wheel teachings are in terms of the migration of human beings on planet Earth. As I have understood it, based on various different versions of it, the teaching goes like this. At some point in the distant past, the Great Spirit called together the four nations, the four clans of human beings, and told them that he was going to send each one into a different direction, and that over time each one of the four clans was going to evolve and become one of the major races. And each of these clans were given responsibility and stewardship over one of the four elements, and they went in their respective direction to learn and master each one of these elements. So, and this is in no particular order, the clans were this. The Fire Clan went north to master fire. They became the white race, the European people. The Water Clan was sent west to master water. They became the black race, or what we now know as the African peoples. Let's see, we've got fire, water, then we had the Air Clan. They were sent west to master life force energy through air, through breath. These became the yellow people, or what we now know as the Oriental peoples. And then lastly, you had the Earth Clan. They were sent south to master the element of earth and plant, and they became the red people, or what we now know as the Native Americans. So that's basically how the myth goes. This, as it turns out, is exactly corresponding to what we now know happened with the first modern humans as they migrated from Africa to other parts of the world. So very briefly, let's talk about what we know based on linguistics and, based on DNA evidence and archaeological evidence. What we know is that about 100,000 years ago, the first modern humans arose in Africa. And around, if I've got my dates right, somewhere around 60 or 70,000 years ago, the human race almost went completely extinct because there had been major climatic conditions that were causing widespread drought. And this drought almost wiped out all of the human beings, modern human beings on the planet. But because of a climactic shift around 60,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert right here changed very briefly to grasslands. And what this did was this allowed animals, obviously, to go and graze there. Humans followed there. Hunting parties followed there. And what this did was it opened up the African continent for people to migrate into other parts of the northern hemisphere, following these herds of game. Until that time, the the Sahara Desert acted like a barrier and nobody could get out of there. But 60,000 years ago that opened up and people were able to move all over the place. So at that time there was major migrations of human beings out of Africa into other parts of the world. And according to the teaching and according to science, here's what happened. The people who became the white race, as we call them now, the Europeans, it's a straight shot north from Africa. So that is exactly in line with the myth which says that the Fire Clan was sent north and they became the white race. Well, Europe is directly north of Africa, so that makes perfect sense. The rest of the myth says that the people who went to master water went west. Well, all of the modern humans were basically in this area here, I don't know, somewhere here in East Africa, about 60,000 years ago. So as modern human beings, because of the changes in climate, were able to move, there was a big chunk of people that the only place that they went, they stayed on the continent. Basically the only place you could go is west. So that makes perfect sense. The peoples in Africa are those that stayed in the African continent but went west, and they mastered the water element. And then you have the people who went east, who are supposed to be the Oriental races, and that makes perfect sense because from here, this is east directly of Africa, so that is in perfect line with that. Now the one that doesn't make sense is the Native Americans, who are said to have been sent south. Well, as you look on this map here, if all modern humans were basically here in East Africa, south would mean South Africa. And so as we know, South Africa is not the home of the Native American people. So how does that work? Well, we know that at some point a group of modern human beings, after coming out of Africa, made their way, and you can't see it on the map here, but they made their way across the Bering Strait, which because of ice ages was one land bridge, and they made it over into North America. Once they got on the North American continent, there really is only one place to go, which is south, because they were already at the Arctic Circle up in Alaska and Canada, and where else are you going to go? And so there's a huge southern migration that happens going all the way down North America, Central America, and South America. So there we have it. So for me, that pretty much concludes that this is a teaching that goes all the way back to the first modern humans.